Welcome to the Tea Hut, the podcast for unorthodox entrepreneurs striving for success by going against the grain, breaking down barriers beyond the biscuit tin, revealing what property professionals and construction workers really talk about on their tea breaks. Join us as we delve deep to uncover what it takes to succeed and be the best version of yourself.
Welcome to the Tea Hut podcast. If you've never stopped in for a brew in the cabin, this is where we break down the barriers beyond the biscuit tin, disrupting normal patterns of conversation, asking the questions that nobody else likes to ask. I like mine really strong like mud with one sugar. So before we get into it, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff, share it on your social medias and support what we're doing, support the cause, because that's what we're for. We're here for the people. This is by the people, for the people. So welcome to the Tea Hut podcast again. And today we've got another fantastic guest in the studio. And I'm really looking forward to having a conversation and having a chat with Ibrahim. So Ibrahim, like traditionally, I just like to let you introduce yourself, give us your name, what you do, a little bit of background information about yourself, please, mate.
Okay, yeah, so I'm Ibrahim Braimah. I'm a public speaker. I'm a property investor, so I focus primarily on the service accommodation strategy. So in the UK, we call it service accommodation. In America, it's known as Airbnb.
Yep.
So we manage, as a business-wise, we manage Airbnbs for landlords and investors. We also work with investors to help them scale their portfolios. I'm also a coach, so I coach people in doing exactly the thing that I do as well. And I'm also a podcaster.
Yes.
So I have, interesting conversations with, phenomenal entrepreneurs like yourself. I know we had you on and I cannot wait for that episode.
I'm looking forward to it, mate.
So cool. It was a great episode. So, that's pretty much about me.
Good. So I did ask people, I know you haven't, but if you were to bring a biscuit with you, what's your favourite biscuit?
Mate, I did bring a biscuit, but I forgot to bring it in.
It's in the car.
It's in the car. I couldn't pick one, so I've got three, and I'll drop it off to you guys before I head off.
What you got?
I've got what they're called again? I've got Oreos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, because and mine are all dairy free because I'm dairy free. So
Okay.
Oreos.
Yeah.
Hobnobs.
Oh, I love a hot.
You love a hobnob? Am I
Hobnobs
doing
are
good? Am I doing good right now? Yeah.
What chocolate or are they normal?
Normal.
Normal.
Because
They're still
dairy
good.
free, bro.
They're
Dairy
still good.
free, yeah.
They're still good.
And then the third one, this one is you either find it bland or it's like one of those
Rich
ones
tea,
that
digested.
rich tea.
Ah!
Come on.
I love a rich tea. Yeah, I like them because they're like to me, it's a simple, straightforward staple biscuit.
That's what I'm saying. But
You gotta have rich tea in your
but
biscuit.
I just smashed it. I just said
alright.
you either find it bland or you're gonna like it, and literally,
It's a Marmite biscuit. I like it because it's a standard biscuit that should be in everyone's fucking biscuit tin. But I like the hobnob as well. We spoke about the hobnob with Shebs, and it's like I call it like the Marine Commando of the biscuit world. Love a dunk. But yeah, no, that's brilliant. So that's good. I like that. Oreos as well. I like that. Which ones? I don't, because haven't they not got dairy in them then?
No, you think it's dairy. Honestly, like because I went vegan for a little bit. And
Okay.
I tried that. I couldn't do it.
That's what I always say, and then I
Are
get
you
back to
dairy?
my senses.
Are you dairy free because of health reasons or just because it's a choice?
No, so I went vegan. I came back to my senses. And then I thought, you know what, let me just stay off the dairy anyway. I stayed off the dairy. So obviously now it's more of an intolerance because I've stayed off for so long. But when I turned vegan, you start to realize that there's nothing you can eat. Like even crisp, you're like, why have they got milk in crisp? Why is there milk in this? This makes no sense.
I went vegan. I thought, I'm going to do this. I think I lasted a week. And then I went on to pescatarian.
You never turned vegan, bro. Like a week. That's
That's not even giving it a chance.
Nah, but then I went pescatarian. I thought I'll give that a go. And I still, mate, I love my meat too much.
That's me.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
I'm
me.
with you.
Yeah.
But when I found out that Oreos were vegan, Matt, it was like when you found out what sex was. You're like, this is it. I can't believe this is true. But yeah, that cream is not dairy.
So what? So they do. So the other ones, the chocolate covered ones, obviously are dairy, aren't they?
That's
chocolate on them.
Yes, those ones are dairy. I think the
What about the white ones?
I think the strawberry ones are dairy as well. It's only
the normal ones.
The vanilla ones. You think of vanilla? Those ones are dairy free.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that. Okay, I like an Oreo.
You're definitely not going vegan, by the way.
Fuck off. I couldn't do it. My missus always like, yeah, maybe I'd like vegan because she don't like the idea, right, of of killing animals for food.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm a bit old school, draconian like that, hunter-gatherer. You know, I believe that, you know, if we didn't kill animals to eat them, we'd be overrun with fucking chickens and cows. I know that's probably a silly way of looking at it because we breed them to eat, I guess, but
So
I
really,
do like meat.
You're just doing it to keep the balance of the earth.
Yeah, I like to. I'm you know, just a food chain. I'm just part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, my missus is she's a vet nurse, so she cares about animals, and she acts like she's a vegetarian. She talks it, but then she'll have a bit of chicken in there.
a nice old rib.
Sneaking.
Nice rib.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just expose her to the public.
Yeah, you have just fucking Jade.
Sorry, Jade.
I love that. So, nice one. So, if you could describe yourself, I like to ask everyone this, and I think you might have even asked me this on yours, but if you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would that be?
Wow.
It's hard, isn't it?
We've just gone straight into it.
Yeah, I'm going straight into it, man. I'm going straight into
We're
it.
having a laugh a second.
Yeah,
ago.
1 minute it's talking about biscuits, and then go on.
That's what it's about.
I would, you know, describe. I would say kind.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a description of myself, but I'm a people person, even though is that class as 2?
No.
Am I done?
No.
Don't get out of it that easily.
Socialist.
Social. Yeah, you're sociable.
Yeah, that's it. Sociable.
Yeah.
Sociable. And then the third one is ambitious.
I like that.
I'm gonna add well presented.
He's definitely well presented. This guy is so sharp.
Yeah,
I love it. Like, because if I had the balls to dress like that, I haven't. And I'll be honest, I definitely think that being a black man, you can dress like that and you can rock it all day, every day, and look good. If I dress like that, it'd either someone would look at me and go, what court case you going to, or you know. What, you know what I mean? Like, I think
what have you done? What are you trying to hide?
Yeah, you can rock it. I think maybe because it's because I've always seen you dressed like that.
Yeah.
Whereas if I saw you in your lounge gear, I might go, oh, fucking hell, he does dress like me. You know
That's
what I mean?
100%.
You probably do in your own time.
Which I do in my own time. Yeah,
but I like that. You're well presented.
It's
like
branding,
that.
Isn't it? It's branding as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's you know, especially 2023, it's all about, you know, what's your brand? And it's actually something funny enough that we'll come onto this topic in a strange way, but it's something that I've struggled with.
Is it?
Yeah.
Identity, you mean?
Not yes, in this latter part
Yeah.
of who I am now, right? Because I'm not sure we're going to get into it, but you know who I was before in terms of, you know, coming from a position where I used to be homeless and all that sort of stuff, and you know where I was on the streets and I was doing all that sort of madness. You know, I would never dress like this.
Yeah.
I mean, tracksuit bottoms, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I've also been in a position where I've worked for, you know, one of the largest estate agencies in the UK. I've worked for the largest, you know, property investment firm in the city, and I also feel like that's me as well, because I like being in those environments. I like wearing suits. Yeah. You know, but I also like just, you know, chilling with my friends and just, you know, being relaxed. Like you said, wear tracksuit bottoms and stuff like that. And it's
whatever environment you're in, you can adapt to that environment.
Exactly.
A bit of a chameleon.
Yeah. That's it. But then it kind of comes, because I was speaking to one of my mentors about this. You know, when I was, you know, learning to become a professional speaker, I was saying, like, and this is something that I'm literally, like, if you go and look at, you know, my content on my social media, you can probably see more recently, since, you know, I left a particular company that I was working with, that I'm starting to come more into my own personality. Like, you see that? Yeah, I appreciate
I can see that.
I appreciate that, because it was almost like you have to present yourself in a certain way because you're in this certain environments, and the conflict is, that's not really me. I like to dress like this, and I like to be professional. I'm a professional person.
Yeah.
Now you're working for yourself. Now you're working for yourself. You can let them shackles off, and you can be yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Agreed.
No, I like that. So let's just rewind back and sort of, I know we've delved right into it, but, you know, I want to know a bit more about your history. You know, I like, you know, my family, for instance, my mum's side of the family, and my heritage, if you like, is Chinese. Yeah. And people often find that quite surprising, and I'm really proud of that. You know, I'm really proud of my Chinese roots and where that comes from. So tell me a little bit about where you come from. Yeah. You know, tell me a little bit about your beginning. Yeah. And why the UK? You know, why did you what brought you here? What's the journey?
Yeah, brilliant. If you want to find out about my beginning, you need to speak to my mum about that.
No, I'll put 2 and 2 together. Your dad had a good shot.
There we go. For me, I was born in Nigeria, and they always say, if you, as a child, if you go through childhood trauma, then you there's a memory loss, because your body's trying to protect you.
Yeah.
So it's actually really strange. I don't remember a lot of my childhood
because that was painful.
Yes, because I grew up in a village in Nigeria, not just in the cities of Lagos. I've later on moved to the city, but my earliest memory, which is once again really strange, because maybe that is the brain trying to protect me, because my earliest memory is actually me with a rake across my shoulders, walking to the farm in the village, to like my grandma's farm, and just being really happy.
Really?
That's actually that's the only memory I can remember as a child, which is crazy.
And
right?
how old were you then?
I'm probably thinking about 3, around that sort of age, right?
Yeah.
But I remember going back to Nigeria in 2017. This is for my grand's funeral, funny enough, right? And there was one of my cousins who was there. And my auntie who I grew up with, she basically raised me as a mum, right? So I kind of remember a little bit more about that part. This is when I moved to the city, into Lagos. And she would say to me, like, when I came to the village, I saw you and I just broke down crying. And that's when I phoned your mum, because at this time my mum had moved to the UK. So she left me in Nigeria, moved to the UK, like a lot of immigrants do, to try and
provide.
Go and try and create something, right? And then obviously, what then happened, she brought me over. Right? So at this point she went. So she's phoned my mum and like, please let me take him.
Yeah.
Right? And my mom's taking him. And my mom said, yeah, so I moved to the city. But I went in 2017, one of my cousins. So we were driving in the car, and it was almost like reminiscing. And he was like, oh yeah, do you remember back in the village, sort of thing, yeah? And the things that happened. And I kind of turned to him and I said, no. And like I could still see his eyes right now. There was a moment, as soon as I said no, it's like he just thought to himself, okay, I'm going to protect you of that memory. And then he just said, okay, don't worry about it then. And I was like, shit. Like, it's weird because it's almost like there was an acknowledgement there and then that, okay, there's something you're trying to protect me from, so I'm not going to ask you. It's like, I didn't even ask, if that makes sense. Like, what do you mean?
You didn't want to delve too into it, and he didn't want to delve too into it.
Exactly. We just kind of left it there. So, that's kind of that childhood. And then moved to Lagos, into the city or whatever it was. That's when I grew up with my cousins, who's kind of, I call them my brothers and sisters. Like, we literally grew up together, right? So lived there, and that was kind of cool. Again, we're basically poor. We're poor. There'll be sometimes where my uncle would, he would be like, I've been paid. And it's like jubilation, we're happy, there's food, all this kind of stuff. And then there'll just be times when there's just no money, and like, you're literally on the breadline. So, all of that kind of happened. And then one day, it's like, always kind of knew this day was coming, right? Because my mom, lives in the UK. It's like, it's going to happen. Yeah. But then when it actually happened, I remember just like crying. Because it's like, shit, like, I'm leaving my family. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're crying, but there's also this, like, bro, when you grow up poor in Nigeria and you're watching all this American film.
Americanization.
Yeah, but we class America as the UK anyway. To us, it's
you're
just,
saying Western.
It's just white people.
Western.
You know what I'm saying? There's white people there, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So there's this excitement of like, right, like, I'm moving to the UK. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
I'm moving to a better land.
In that instance, you think your life's definitely changed straight away.
Like, that's it. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, bro, I'm leaving my family. This is my family. This is what I've grown up with. So I remember crying. This time I was like 13, so I was like, I'm not a teenage kid. But it's weird because those sort of things in Nigeria are cool. Like, it's actually in the West that we think like crying and hold. Like, bro, I would be holding my cousin's hands just walking down the street. Like, that's normal, even as a big boy. Like, this is normal. So, but I'm crying and stuff. And then, moved over to the UK when I was 14.
I bet that was hard, wasn't it?
It wasn't actually that bad.
No?
Because I moved to London.
Yeah.
Because I moved to London.
How old are you now?
I'm now 36.
So you're, similar age to me and Dean.
So I'm now 36. So I moved to London. at the age of 14, and my school, South West London.
Yeah, very multicultural place.
Like 90% of the people in the school were black.
Yeah. You fit right in.
Yeah. It didn't seem like there was this like cultural shock.
It would have been harder if you would have moved predominantly whites and you.
If you'd have moved to like somewhere where I live now, Lowestoft, for instance, where there's literally like there's not many black people around in Lowestoft at all.
There we go. Well, we'll come into that. Cool. Because so London, that was good, but it's funny though because look, kids are kids.
Yeah.
So even though there was 90% black kids there, I'm the African kid with an accent.
You're the immigrant kid.
I'm the immigrant kid.
You're not from like Peckham.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You're from Nigeria.
I'm the Nigerian with the accent.
Yep.
So people taking the piss out your accent. So you're having to fight all the time. It's still the same. It's like a similar.
Even with other black people.
Even with other black kids. I mean,
see, that's like, fucking mental.
Yeah.
Like,
but because they probably not as educated now. They're educated about bad things that happen, slavery and stuff now. When they get older, they realise it.
Yeah, no, you get a lot of black people that will say, "Oh, we'll stand up for my other black brothers and sisters."
Yeah, but now what I'm saying is, when they get older, at that age, they don't really understand that. But then they realise when they're older that that conversation happens. You know what I mean?
What's your views on that?
Yeah, I think for me it's about contextualising it.
Yeah,
I think now there is more education and more awareness about it.
Yeah,
but
there wasn't before, was there? It's like that wasn't really talked about in English schools.
I completely agree with you. But I think there's also, because I'm like a Pan-African, I'm very passionate about Africa and black people. Right?
Yeah, good.
So it's like there's also this, you need to understand, it's when you are an enslaved person, whether it's in your mind
or physically,
but more in your mind, is the people close to you, because it's like these people are the superiors.
Yeah.
Who else can I suppress? You see what I'm saying? I can't suppress the white person. I'm in their land. Who can I suppress? Oh, they suppress me, but you're different.
Yeah, you're even lower down.
You're even lower down the pecking order. So it's like, bro, you're African. Like I'm gonna, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's that lack of awareness that said, actually, bro, like we together.
Stick together.
Do you know what I'm saying? In the eyes of that racist person, they don't care if I've got an accent. You like, they're gonna band us all together anyway, right?
When did that change for you, or would you say that's something you still experience today?
It's that situation. It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about the situation in general.
Yeah,
right. So I don't think. So for example, leaving London, I then moved to Cambridge.
Yeah,
right?
Different area.
Yeah. I lived in a village in Cambridge, Papworth, Everard.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I swear to God. Papworth.
That's where my nan used to live.
Are you serious?
Oh my God.
Come on, bro. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, Papworth. You must have been the only black person in Papworth.
There was another one.
There was another one. Was that your missus? No, but seriously, in Papworth, it's like a time. I know exactly where it is.
You know exactly.
So I can relate exactly what you're saying.
100%.
Papworth, it is like old people, care homes, people who've retired.
You know Papworth. That's literally where
I know it really well.
Right? Perfect, right? So, we kind of moved to Papworth, and then, but there's a juxtaposition, because I went to a school which at the time was the 4th best school in the country. It's Swavesey.
Swavesey, very good. Yeah,
exactly. I went to Swavesey Village College, right? So there's this level of like, cool, you're getting a really good education, but literally me and my sister were the only black people in this school. Do you know what I mean?
Was that the other person then?
Say that again? But it was really good. I mean, there was a couple of little, situations, but I can't try and say like I experienced racism or slavery, but it was more amongst teachers, which is weird, right? It's more teachers. Yeah. There's this one
old school English white teachers.
Yeah, white teachers, it's just weird, and because you're the other, and there's something really interesting about what you perceive, because if you don't have an experience of someone can tell you this is what black people are like,
and you'll believe that.
This is what you see on TV.
Yeah.
So there's this like, even within, bro, I had to check myself, like literally check myself and say, bro, what is wrong with you? And this is for someone who's conscious about these topics.
Yep.
Where I'm seeing other black people and I'm like, come to attention, like, okay, cool, I've got a... It's like, bro, no, bro. There's no... Robbie could be more dangerous than that black person. And I'll walk past Robbie and not really care. Stereotype. And I'm doing it to my own people. It's like, this is my... But this is the power of media. You know what I'm saying? So imagine these teachers now. They've never had a personal experience. the only experience they think of is what they're seeing.
What they've seen on media.
Yeah. So
films and all that sort of
if
stuff.
it's going to affect me, imagine how it's going to affect a white person that's never had an experience of a black person.
Yeah.
So there's this like unconscious biases that's happening, the way that they're treating you.
Yeah.
And they almost feel like you're a little bit more dangerous. And when there's like, confrontations between you and other students, you're always in the
You're
wrong.
always going to be the one that...
Yeah. And so, there's, you know what I mean? So there was those little things that kind of happened. But that was pretty much it. Listen, people got slapped. People like, there was a couple little, like, you defend yourself. Yeah,
of course.
So these things happen. But yeah, man, I'm
always interested to hear, like, especially, someone's story who's been through what you've been through, coming to a new country and basically starting your life again. I'm always really interested in that because I'm sort of in awe, really, of the inner strength that takes. Because I've moved from like where I grew up, where all my friends were, similar to like you, but I only moved like 150 miles down the road, so it's a bit different.
It's a long distance.
It's a bit different, but it's the same. Like, you're taking yourself out of a situation into a new one, learning your environment again. You don't know anyone. You're a foreigner. Do you know what I mean? You might talk different, look different, which, I did to a certain extent when I moved out to the sticks in Suffolk. Didn't sound local. And I think there was an element of like, oh, you're not a local person. We're going to treat you a little bit differently. And I felt that even just like a tiny, tiny bit. Like, even down to the little comments, like people, I talk to someone, go, how you doing? They go, oh, you're not a local. I was like, fucking hell, it's the first thing you've said to me. You haven't even asked me what my name is. The first thing you've said is, oh, you're not local. Yeah. And it automatically puts your guard up. So I can only imagine, and I laugh that off, right? Because I'm just, I wouldn't want to be local anyway, if that's your attitude. But I'm able to laugh it off. But from someone, like yourself, who is black, who has come to the UK, which is a white, inverted commas, I hope everyone can see that, white country, and it must be hard. Yeah. I've got major respect for that, and I've really rooted respect for that. Like,
can I say something though? And I remember saying this to my mum a couple of years ago, and she was kind of shocked that, because to her it was probably just a lesson, but to me it just stuck with me. But she said to me, one of the first lessons my mum told me when I moved to the UK is, do not ever become a victim of your colour, right? And that's something that stayed with me, because ultimately for me. It's like kind of going back to saying, oh, has that kind of affected you? How did you think? It's like, cool. It's not so much about me personally. I know these things happen, but, I can't really complain about my life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And there is an element of, just because someone is trying to hold you back doesn't mean they can succeed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's still an element of self-accountability that you have to take in and say, well, cool, like, this is the playing field.
Yeah, not use it as an excuse, basically, to hold you back. Go, that's how you feel about it. Like the other person, you can't change their views, but I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Because you do get, I find it difficult to speak about, but you do get black people that use that card. Yep. And it's they're always the victim. Yep. Just get on with it.
100%. But it's also not to negate, like, what you're saying could be true, but it doesn't also mean that you can't achieve what you need to achieve.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you could be suffering racism, there could be people who's discriminating against you and limiting your opportunities.
But it's how you act to that.
Exactly. That doesn't mean that you also still can't achieve the things that you want to achieve.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So
that doesn't define you.
Exactly.
Do you think racism is still a problem in this country?
Yes, 100%. 100%. And it's just weird you literally see it, and it's so disturbing that it's almost become so, people are so comfortable with it now. And
it's normalised.
I'm not talking about racism like black nigger, right, spit on the floor. Like, I experienced that in Cambridge. Imagine, bro, I was a black man in Cambridge. I would be grown men who walk past me and spit on the floor.
Yeah, that's next level.
It's next level, isn't it? Yeah. So it's not. I'm not even talking about like that level now, because we're a bit older now. I think that level is probably like a little bit.
I just don't get
it.
I don't. Do you know what I mean?
It's mental. It's mental. But the things I'm talking about, it's okay, cool. We're not gonna take in immigrants from Syria or from Iraq, right? But Ukraine, let's open up the doors.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
What's the fucking difference?
Bro, do you know how mad this was? I literally, when the war in Ukraine started, I don't know if you saw that video that went round, that presenter that was saying, oh, this is not like immigrants from all these other parts. They look like us.
Yeah.
He actually, did you see that? He literally said it. I was like, I respect you, bro.
You've just been honest there. You've just said, look, they're all right. They look like us. Let them in, basically.
I respect that. I respect it. It's like, unless I know where you stand.
Yeah.
Other people who
They
try
are
to skirt
white,
around
Caucasian. Let them in. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that's like, this is still happening, but that's such
And
an
that
obvious,
is happening.
It's happening, but it's such an obvious one. And you can be a black man still having a conversation with someone about the corporate saying, trust me, in this organization, because I'm black, it's held me back. I've seen other people below me come above me, and people will say you're making excuses. And they will say like, nah, that doesn't happen. And it's just like, you can't quantify that. You can't explain that unless you've got that lived experience. You can't explain that to someone. Yeah. But it's just like, just look around you, look at the stats. If there's this amount of people in this country and there's this amount of opportunities, but the percentage is not proportional in terms of representation, why is that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool, explain it. If you're saying this is not happening, explain it to me then.
Yeah.
But you can get these situations like I'm talking about with Ukraine, which is so obvious, and we can be like, yeah, this is something
That's
a bit
happening.
dodgy.
Yeah.
But then we can tell you it's also happening here, but you're like, nah, because I can't see it. It's not happening. It's like, bro.
That's ignorance.
Yeah, it's ignorance.
Do you find it in your work life as well? It's the same. So where you've been with businesses and things, is it
I find it
continued, or does it?
For me, I find it tricky talking about it because I have to be honest with my experience in terms of work life. I can't really say, but I'm good at what I do. From when I actually started taking my life seriously, like I'm good.
Applying yourself.
Yeah. I feel like
you haven't let that be a barrier to your achievement.
It's never really. You're just like, cool, like we're gonna get the job done, innit? So I've not been long enough for anyone to try and hold me back because my results will just speak anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, even if you're trying, it's just like, bro. But at the same time, I haven't really been in these corporate environments for like 15 years where you've been busting your gut to work up the ladder and then you just can't get past that ladder. Do you know what I'm saying? I also haven't done that because I'm more entrepreneurial. You know, even a lot of the sales roles I've done in the past, I've done them on a self-employed basis. It's like, okay, cool. Give me the opportunities. I'll go. I don't want to work for someone. I'll prove myself. So what I bring is what I eat. Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing.
Yeah, I get that. It leads quite, you've probably answered it 10 times over in what you've just said, but where does your drive come from?
Yeah.
Like, where does your personal drive to succeed come from?
Wow, yeah.
The need to succeed.
The need to succeed, yeah.
Is it a need or a want?
You know what? I'm so glad you asked that question because I have to always keep asking myself. Because you have to be honest with yourself. And you're saying,
what's your purpose?
Yeah, like, do you actually want all this money?
Do you know what I mean? Do you want it or do you need it?
Because for me, I'm like, I've come from poverty. Yeah. I've been homeless. Yeah. Like,
and you still survived that.
And I've still survived it. And that's one big thing for me. It's like, there's just this innate thing. Sometimes it's worked negatively, you know, in the past.
Counterproductively.
Because I'm like, I'm gonna be all right, whatever happens. I know I've got enough lived experience.
You can deal with what I'm listening to. Like, you could just deal with any scenario. Stress where you just be like, I've been for the worst.
Yeah. How could it get worse than where you've been?
Whereas I find that, like me and you, kind of find that tough, don't we? Well, I definitely do because
I think
I've had
you're a little bit different.
I had a bit of a privileged lifestyle. Like, my dad worked hard, my mum, they were together. We had everything we wanted. We were on nice holidays.
You got educated.
I got educated.
Went to uni.
So when anything goes, I'm better now. But where I've dealt with stress and that, I just don't deal with it that great. I deal with it much better now. But I've had to put in a mechanism to be able to deal with it.
But you haven't come from a situation.
But I haven't come into a situation where I've never had fuck all. It's like
that's a different.
No,
thing.
but that's what I'm saying. So I can. That's a great tool for you to have. Do you know what
absolutely.
I mean?
I think that gives you such an edge over so many people in so many scenarios.
100%.
You're resilient.
When you're actually not scared of
making a decision.
When you're not actually scared of the outcome of failing, I think that's fucking really powerful.
That's strong.
When you're not actually bothered by
and you can never be a slave.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can never be a slave.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're making decisions based on how you see the outcome or what you actually want, not so much of this situation. But if I don't accept what they're telling me, then I'm gonna be fucked.
Well, that's how. So I've had to change my mindset. So
you come from that background, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'll be like thinking about what's the consequences, thinking the worst all the time, and it's held me back sometimes. Yes. Or I'm not doing the right things. Like, I had a chat with my bookkeeper today, and she was like, "Dean, rather than worrying about that, let me worry about that." You go and win more work. You go and do that. That's the bit you need to do. Do you know what I mean?
Like you come from a typical like normal inverted commas
middle class
background.
I don't think anything's normal, man.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm generalising.
I'm
generalising when I say normal, and what I mean by normal is that
I was protected.
You grew up with both parents present in your life.
Yeah.
You got, you had good education. Went to uni. You know, you went off work for some other people. Now you're working with your dad, who's obviously been a successful businessman. Like, and then like you say, you've had to then learn how to deal with stress when it presents itself to you in a different way. Whereas Ibrahim, and I can sort of relate to that, where you've been through certain situations that have forced you to be resilient. Yeah. So it's like fight or flight.
100%.
You know what I mean? And I've been through that from a young age. I was going to
say, from having you on, I can tell you've definitely got a similar experience.
Mate, you know, well. What you've been through and where you've come from in your journey, I would, sit here and say right now, I don't feel like I've personally been through any hardship that you probably have experienced, which I respect you for. But I think it's nice to hear different people's points of views and perspectives on how we deal with things, and it's quite funny to see that you realise that the way that you've been brought up is not necessarily, I don't want to say not necessarily right, but it's like it hasn't given you all the tools that you need to succeed or be successful in your field.
I'd say that, but then I'd say like I've still learned a lot from it because my dad's had his own business, so I've always wanted to do business. So I've had that good role model to think about business and doing it myself.
I was gonna say I completely agree with that, because it's not about right or wrong experience. It's just a different experience. Because look, bruv, if you ask me what would I have preferred, I would have taken Dean's lab all
I
day.
think anyone would, though, who's been through shit.
Yeah, and do you know what? And I respect you for saying that, because a lot of people will go like, "You're both your stories," and they'll overlook just because I've had a better upbringing potentially. That they'll favour your kind of
story.
Yeah, but then I've still gone through hardship like any normal person.
Exactly.
As well.
It's all relative to
exactly. So I respect that.
100%. It's nonsense, because for me, the way I see it is like we all aspire to do better, and we all aspire for our next generation to do better. But then when there's an example of someone who's done that, we're like, nah. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, I would prefer that, and then work through, whatever things that you've kind of had to work through. It's like, cool. Is that not what we would want for our generation? Why are you working so hard? Why am I working so hard? So that our kids never have to go through the shit. So what? Do I now want someone to be chatting shit about my kid? To say, oh yeah, your kid doesn't. But they're going to go
your
through
kids had it, your kids be giving it and all that. Well, no, they've still got to work hard for it. You still expect them to understand you've got to work hard to get to where you want to get to.
100%. But in terms of like my need to succeed, for me, first, before my daughter actually come into the plan, because now, like, she's it and the future generations. But before her, it's like, bro, when you come from something, you know what you don't want in it. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And also when you're growing up, I remember I went to like an event a few weeks ago, and they were saying, what did you want to be? What was that dream when you were young? And I'm like, I'm kind of living it. Because for me, like in Nigeria, I didn't have this is the job I wanted to do. Yeah. I just wanted to be a businessman in a suit. Yeah. Like this was the goal. Like, I just want to.
That was success to you at a young age.
Yeah, bro, businessman in a suit. I don't know why, but I had this image of a briefcase. So probably because I was growing up in the 80s and 90s.
Because you watch TV.
He got sold. Where is it? Only Fools and Horses.
With blow up dolls in the back of the boot.
No, he's speaking his father.
And his big mobile phone.
Image.
That was the image I had in my head. So it's like, but it's the drive is just to never be in a position where I have to be in those positions before. Yeah. And also, to create a legacy. I don't know why I'm really driven by legacy. I didn't grow up with my dad. I was listening speaking to my missus about this the other day. I was like, should I change my name? Like, genuinely, because I'm like...
Do you have no involvement with him at all?
What? I can class involvement as I've got his number.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You haven't got a relationship.
Like I don't know him, But I don't have a relationship. And it's a little bit like deep, because as a result of that, I don't really have a relationship with my siblings, like my half-siblings. Okay. Even though, once again, I know them, I know the number, but there's this, and I know there's that
gap there.
There's this reservedness of really wanting to commit to that relationship, because it's almost like, is there any alternative intentions? I don't really... It's really weird. I know,
do you think that feeling is because, I mean, did your dad leave you when you were younger? and then go and have another family. Is that what happened?
It's not so much leave me, but my mum took me away. My mum, my mum was getting abused. You know what I'm saying? Like domestic abuse and all this sort of thing. So my mum kind of escaped and ran and took us away, sort of thing. Took me away, sort of thing.
Protect his kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
so is that, again, so now you've just told me that, is do you think that in the back of your mind is why that you subconsciously don't want to commit to a relationship with that side of the family?
No, because what happened is, when I was younger, I didn't know this, right?
Yeah.
So I said I don't know it. I don't know how much of that memory actually stayed with me.
You've blocked it out.
Exactly. Perhaps, I don't know, but I never really grew up with that memory. So only when I moved to the UK, and obviously I'm acting up, a young teenager. I was my dad anyway. And my mom's like, you want to go meet your dad? Cool. Go meet your dad. Yeah. So she gave me a ticket, went back to Nigeria, and like stayed with him for a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy's a prick.
Yeah.
So it's like one of them, wasn't it?
You found out for yourself.
I found out for myself. So, and then obviously kind of moved back to the UK and all this sort of stuff. And then years later, he's kind of got back in touch again, and he's getting back in touch, just asking me for money. Like,
really?
Bro, this is, bro. A lot of immigrants listen to this right now. And just of course, standard. Like,
that's what they do.
That's
my son goes to work. Pay me the money.
Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously, I haven't got. I don't know you, bro. Like, to me, you.
And when he wants to know you, he wants something from you. It's not not love. It's more just give me some.
You owe me that. You're my sperm. Give me your fucking money.
Exactly. And to me, like, it's weird because I don't.
Is that a culture thing, Ibrahim?
It's not a culture thing. It's a him thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But I mean, there is also. There's a lot of men like that. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying, Jen? There's a lot of men like that. You see just recently is the Tyler Perry. Yeah. When his dad tried, did you see the story? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So there's just a lot of men like that generally anyway. But for me, like my relationship with family is so different. So for example, when I'm in the streets here, I'm homeless. I've got these two of my friends, Nick and Gawain, like my two closest friends. When I'm in the streets, bro, homeless, these guys will sneak me. Obviously, they couldn't do this every night, right? But they'll sneak me into the home at night time. It could be like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning after we've done whatever madness we're doing. Just for like a couple now, okay, you can sleep here tonight. We'll get to the house, the dinner that their moms left for them, they will get it up, split into half, share that with me, bro.
Good mates.
Yeah. Bro, is that family? Yeah. So to me, it's not blood, bro. It's about how have you treated me? How have we, do you know what I'm saying? Who are we together? So, and because of the relationship I've had in terms of like family, where I've kind of moved around and stuff like that, to me, it's about relational. That's what blood is to me. It's like, you're my family because of our experience. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, you're just a random guy asking me for money, just because you're meant to be my dad. I genuinely don't have that emotional attachment at all to it. I'm just like, you're just another guy.
I think the thing is like, when they say that, you can't pick your a family, but you can pick your friends. Yeah. No, is it that way? Yeah,
you can't pick your family.
Exactly. Yeah. So you could have family like you said there, and they're more enemies.
It's just a fucking
exactly.
And then I got so
I'll tell you for what, right? Like just on this subject of family, it's quite funny that I actually had an argument with my brother a couple of weeks ago. I won't digress too much into it, but basically, my dad's side of the family had heard one of my podcasts that I did with someone last year called Chris, and similar to like I went off in your podcast, Ibrahim, where we spoke about my history, and I didn't name anyone. I just said my experience, where I've come from and what I've seen growing up, and these people that are supposed to be my family or call themselves my family got angry with what I'd said, right? And basically, said that they were that it was very distasteful what I'd said, called my family criminals and all this. And I said, fucking hell, have you got a short memory or something? Have you forgot what you used to get up to? Are you like, or are you just like, you know what I mean? I'm not ashamed of my experiences and where I've come from, but they were. Yeah. And it's like, they were almost saying to me, who the fuck do you think you are? And I'm like, what? Like, why am I not allowed to talk about my own experiences? Yeah. They were like, almost like, who dare you? How dare you sort of say that? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
to be
rather
honest,
than really listening to what you're saying, that goes against that. What's the word? That just.
But do you know what? Do you know something I've noticed though? Do you know something I've noticed? Yeah, and this might be where it's coming from. I've noticed. You see, like someone who I follow. Have you heard of Alex Hormozy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see, like how he just talks freely and he gives freely and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, I bet when you started, you weren't doing it like that.
Yeah.
I think when you get to a certain position, it's a lot easier even to talk about your faults. It's just easier to talk about it because the consequences, bruv, he's got like a couple 100 million in the bank.
It's like, just don't give a fuck.
It's
not giving a fuck what other people, about other people's
This is it. But the point I'm making is like with Robbie, where you've achieved so much now, you're on a different level where it's just like, this is who I was.
Yeah.
Like clearly you can see this is no longer who I am. But I'm not ashamed of who I was. Do you know what I'm saying? Because those character building got me to where I am today. Maybe they're not quite in that position and they're still...
That's it. Maybe that's how I've taken it, because I'm looking at it thinking, well, okay, I'm comfortable with my past, my experiences and where I've come from. It's obviously you that isn't.
100%.
The insecurity lies with them, not me, because I'm...
And they probably haven't moved forward, have they?
That's what it is. And you know what? I got upset with my brother when he was coming at me like that. He was like, because he said, the family aren't happy with you. And I went, what the fuck? I was like, they want to call themselves family. They can get fucked. I was like, because like you just said, Dean, if they can't read between the lines and actually listen to what I said, yes, I was speaking factual when I said, you know, my dad's side of the family were mostly all criminals when I was growing up. But what I also said was that they were fucking good people. Yeah. And that they looked up, you know, and I looked up to them as a young person. Yes. And all I said was that maybe that me looking up to them and what they used to do as a young person shaped me to turn out the way that I did. And the way that I turned out, I wasn't happy with. That's all I was saying.
But that's fact, though.
Yeah, I wasn't sitting there slagging them off and saying that they were horrible people and they were scum of the earth or anything like that. But it's the way they took it and that they didn't like...
That's a reflection of them then.
No, exactly. No, it is. And I was really angry about it first. I had a bit of an argument with my brother on the phone about it. But then I sat back afterwards and I thought, you know what? Like, cool. If they're getting upset with what I'm saying, like, that's not me getting upset. It's them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
100%. But that's good that you could reflect on that though, because sometimes it's difficult to
take yourself out of it.
Take yourself out of it and just look at either the whole situation holistically or try and step into the other person's foot. But it's good that you can actually. That's a skill in itself.
I try to do that. I mean, in every walk of life and every situation that I get into, I really, and Dean, you'll know this because you know me. I try to look at things as a sphere. Yeah, I can't just look at things from one side of the fence, i.e. my own perception. Yeah. I always have to put myself in the shoes of every other person in the scenario and think about how it affects them. And if anything, it might be a downfall of mine, and it might stop me making quick decisions because I have to take it all in and I have to understand what the outcomes are to everyone involved. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
No, but that's a trait of the most successful people.
Do you think?
Yeah, you take your time to make the decision at the start, and then if you find out you're wrong, you make the decision quickly. So that's what I say, hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
My action coach teaches me that.
There you go.
I get that.
I've got an action coach, business coach, and spot on with it.
See, I've done the opposite to that over the years. Fast. Yeah, I've done it the opposite. But that was when I started, you know what I mean? When I started my business and thought, taking on loads of people and then making excuses to keep those certain people on when really I should have fucked them off straight away.
And that was your good nature.
Exactly, getting in the way of making sound decisions.
Things, when sometimes you have to make them decisions.
Yeah, but
business is not easy.
No.
It's like you said,
and it's not. I'm the same as you, kind of thing. I don't like upsetting people, but now while I'm learning to be a business person, you've got to make some strong decisions sometimes.
And when you think about the background that you've come from as well, it's like you're literally just learning on the job, mate.
Yeah,
and you're kind-hearted, you want to help people because you know what background they come from, you know what it means to them. So you're bringing all this extra baggage into a decision-making process for your business, which isn't necessarily the right process and tools to use, but that's coming from what you know. And then as you grow, as you start to learn more about business, you start to realize, no, fuck that, this is business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're either on this train or get the fuck out.
I agree with you, mate. Yeah. If people are not going to get you to that destination, then what's the fucking point in having them around you?
And I'm now of that ilk. I now think like that, but it's taken me a long time of making bad decisions and doing the wrong things to change my mindset around that. So, yeah, no, I can relate to that. So going back on course with my little questions that I'd like to ask, I want to know if you've got, I mean, you've been through a lot, and we've just heard a lot about your journey, which is really inspiring to me. But what's your biggest, if you've got any, regret?
Biggest regret? Mate, that's a good one. I genuinely, and I'm not just saying this, it's like what I said before. Like, I just move on. Whatever happens, I'm cool.
Just move on.
It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
I'm a bit like that myself.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I've kind of sat there and thought,
shit, I regret that.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you got nothing you actually can pinpoint and say, you know what, I wish I hadn't have done that.
I wish I hadn't have done that. Loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's different from regret.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I wish I hadn't.
That's learning. Yeah, that's like,
Exactly.
You've got to make mistakes.
Exactly.
To learn,
Exactly. There's loads of those. I wish I hadn't have done that. And that comes from me saying, I didn't really want to work for someone, for example. I just really want to, do my own thing. And with that, what happens? And with ambition as well. Ambition is a dangerous thing,
Yeah.
It can actually work against you.
Well, yeah, because so going off from that, what you just said there, with ambition working against you, would you say that you are unemployable? Not as in like you're a lazy bastard.
No,
I'm not getting at that.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I would actually say, in a strange roundabout way, obviously because of my age. If you get to a certain age, then it's like, if you're not learning, then you're actually pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I would say when I was younger, yes, more so. Because I did work for some pretty decent companies, so more so. But now I would say I'm more employable, but I ain't fucking working for someone.
That's what I'm saying. So you're unemployable because your level of aspiration is always going to be greater than being an employee.
Never be happy. You'd never be happy going back into being employed. Mate, I'm the same as you. I left employment 2020, and I've said to myself, if shit ever hit the fan, I would never still go back.
You just do something for yourself.
I'll just get up and go again. Get up and go again.
But that's a true entrepreneur, isn't it?
I was caged. I felt like caged. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Because I couldn't do certain things. You get 28 days holiday in a year. What's all that about?
It's literally mental, isn't it? And you get treated like a child. It's weird. And
time clocking your half.
But then also, if you're someone who's smart, who's ambitious, who've got ideas, like my ideas are different from yours. So you're the business owner, and I'm trying to share ideas that I feel this is something that's actually going to benefit us.
But they don't want. They go no. But that's a good. Yeah, that's a good business owner would listen to other people's
ideas and take it.
Yeah.
That's
go,
my
actually,
business.
That sounds good. That might help my business. Boom, swap that in there.
Bro,
give it a go.
My video editor, mate, I barely edit what he's done. I trust the guy. He's very good at what he does. Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll have a little, but I'll say to him, bro, and he'll be like, oh, there's this new concept I'm thinking about, bro. Do it.
Just fucking do it.
Just, you know what I'm saying?
You're the video guy.
You're the guy.
Yeah. It's your speciality. It's nice to probably have a little point if you need to get some points in.
100%, but it's like, I'll say it. There's the things that he said, I go, no, I don't like that. That's cool, but I'm not going to try and start telling the video editor how to edit. If there's shit I don't like, I'll tell you I don't like that. Change that. Let's not do that again. Or let's tweak this a little bit. That's cool. That's where you still obviously have to be the overseer, but it just doesn't mean you have to know everything has to come from you. It's like, that's why you've got department heads, because this is, this is their specialities. This is what they do. So I would take advice from those people. And then if there's things that I think maybe we can do differently, then you put the inputs into it, right? But if you're working for a company who doesn't have the same kind of idea of business and it's authoritarian, it's difficult if you're someone who's an entrepreneur and you're creative to really be in those environments. And
you're always limited, aren't you? You're never given freedom of reign to really do what you want as an entrepreneur when you're working for someone else.
You never will,
because your aspirations are probably bigger than that company's are for you.
100%, and it might not be a bad thing, because look, ultimately it's their fucking business.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't like it,
they're paying you. You're talking about them. If they're not, if you're not on the journey for them, then you're not right for them. Then you're not. You know what I mean? So I totally agree.
So how old were you when you came to England?
I was 14.
So if you could go, and you're 36 now, yeah?
Yes.
So, 22 years ago, long time. Yes, that's a lifetime.
23 in June.
23 in June.
Yeah.
So if you could go back 23 years and speak to yourself then, with everything you know now, is there any particular advice you would give a younger self?
Yeah, 100%. I would say, bro, just cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just relax. You're eventually going to end up where you want to get to. But trust me, see this route that you're going.
Trust the process.
Trust the process, bro. Like, where I am now, I promise you, not even where I am now. Where I'm going to be in 2 years.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe I could have been there 10 years ago.
Oh, really? Do you know what? That's my thing as well. I
resonate
with you so well. I'm enjoying this one because I'm the same. I look back now and I think, do you know what? If I'd have just fucking done that 10 years ago, I would be in a position that I would be.
So I think there's a key bit of advice to give our listeners there, guys. So, so just go again, Dean.
What's that?
Well,
just because how driven I am now, and I've always been driven, don't get me wrong, but what held me back was kind of party lifestyle. My mum got ill, and that kind of just sent me off the rails a little bit. And I just wish I kind of rang that in, got my head back on properly. And to be fair, I met my missus a bit later in life. So if I'd have met her a bit earlier in that, I think, it's just going back to like, enjoy your life, but you can enjoy your life still.
But I'm kind of
working towards something.
You can enjoy your life like at any point. No one's saying don't enjoy life and work hard. Like, you can enjoy life all the time. I think.
Yeah, you can if you're conscious about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, right? You have to be conscious about it. Like now, I was speaking to my best friend yesterday, actually, this Nick, who I said, literally, it's just crazy. I've got the same people around me from when I was homeless, like 17 years ago, was still. So I really love that. But I was speaking to him and just saying, like, how, like, my partner right now, like, she's just the best.
Yeah.
Because she's just so supportive. And what that's done, it's actually made me think, bro, okay, cool. Now you need to reciprocate and actually be conscious of giving back and spending time and being conscious of being a family man and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so
she's giving you that stability.
Yes, bro. So I think, even if you're young, as long as you're conscious of, okay, cool, this time I'm gonna do this. This time I'm gonna do. And when I'm saying this, I mean play. I'm gonna go out or whatever it is. Or I'm gonna do
balance.
this.
Balance. That's the thing. That's the thing I never had as much. I wasn't as much balance.
Now excessive.
Now I've gone the other way a little bit because I'm so driven to do well in my business.
On the flip side, let's have a look at this. When are you the strongest? When are you the most agile? When can you work and think I'm unbreakable?
When you're stable.
When you're stable. When you're younger.
Yeah.
So if you actually, because
you're a bit more risk averse as you get older.
We think about it backwards, bro. We're thinking when we get older, we're more stable and all this sort of stuff. That's cool because the average millionaire is like 42. That's when they made their first million, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
sweet.
We got a chance.
Yeah,
we're all there, boys.
But if you did that when you were flipping 20, 22, 23, 24, you cracked it then. Imagine the sort of life you can live when you're older.
Yeah.
Or you can look at the other way though. If you got that sort of money around you at that age, could you be stupid with it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally.
And especially if you've got that money around, it's like being like with girls and that. Fucking, you end up losing your house because you go for a few months. I've seen it with people. Do you know what I mean? So there's the other flips to it.
But the person who makes that conscious decision, I would like to think, is not going to be stupid enough to not have a plan, right?
Yeah.
If you're consciously thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going to dedicate this next I'm 20 years old now, I'm going to dedicate the next 4 years to becoming a beast. And then I'm going to build my family. Because look, let's be honest, like now, yes, we push hard, but you've still got the missus that you got to think about. You've still got the daughter that you got to think about.
Yeah.
If I was doing this at 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, I got nobody to think about.
Would you have that same drive?
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't there. If it was there, fucking hell, would be dangerous.
I think I'm the same. Had I had that purpose then, mate, I'd have been dangerous. And I would have been fucking flying.
I'm the same.
That's a common theme, actually. We had in our last session we recorded, and Shebs made a good point and said that he felt that he really exceeded in life when he met his wife, and that he had that stability, and that the results that most successful men get are pretty much because they've got a stable home life and they've got someone behind them 100%. That supports them 100%. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I was listening to a clip the other day. This Instagram reels.
Yeah.
I don't know what sort of pricks do that.
Yeah, mate.
But it was this guy said. I think he said like he's spoken to about 10 billionaires, and he's asking them what is the one thing they would say is the marker for success, and they were like the person you marry.
Yeah,
which is crazy because if I'm speaking to a bloody billionaire, like what are you talking about? And he's like all of them basically said like relationship.
Yeah,
be careful with the person.
Oh mate, that can if you get a wrong person, that could derail you completely.
Make
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Make or break you.
Yeah.
Ali's always been, I'll say that all the time, she's always been massively supportive of me and every decision I've made, whether it be stupid or not.
To be fair, I'll give it to Jay, she's the same as well.
Well, and without that, I would...
She's a very strong woman as well, my missus. It's like, we're both very strong kind of personalities, so we clash quite a bit when it comes to that, but then she is understandable, so she... Yeah, with what we're doing now, do you know what I mean? So that is good.
Sounds like we're all pretty lucky. I'm
definitely.
very lucky as well, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like it happened to me at the right time when we.
Are we just saying this because we're on air?
No, no.
Yes, my missus is the best wife in the world.
Not as good as mine.
No, maybe there is an element of that. You know, I don't want to be bad mouthing, but no. You know, don't get me wrong. We don't fucking get on all the time, and there's times where
that's normal though.
Yeah, that's healthy.
That'll be dead relationship.
Yeah, exactly. I like it keeping me on my toes and that. So, but I agree with that. But you know, we sort of digress. But so. If you could go back, you would tell a younger self to slow down, take things in your own pace.
Yes, not so much take things in your own pace, as in just believe in the process. Don't be so like, because I had the ambition, but it was like I wanted it now.
You wanted a shortcut.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue, though, isn't it? And that is so
And
true.
if you don't get to that quick and where you perceive to be the time, you feel bad.
You feel like you failed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what? And this is the common thing that I've got to realise with my business coach. He's like, just it will come. Yes. It will come.
Yes.
Just work consistently, and it will come.
Are we our own worst enemies? In that
we
sense?
can be. Yeah, and that's all your mindset. Though. That's where you change your mindset.
I'm super critical of everything I do.
Judgmental.
Yeah.
Judges and stuff.
No one can give me a worse review than myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually feel like that's healthy.
Yeah. Because in my head, me doing that to myself makes me want to improve all the time.
I was gonna say, what's been the result of that thought process?
Exactly, just me wanting to improve all the time and constantly trying to improve.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. You know, we can. There is a balance that needs to be struck. So that's where you also. This is something that I also don't do. So I mean, it's easy to say. Yeah. As much as you're critical, you know, when you get the results, you should always also celebrate them.
Again, I don't do enough of that. No, I should be doing more of that.
Most of us don't. It's so weird.
They always say celebrate the wins, don't they? But I think it looks a bit cheesy sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there is something.
I think as long as you're sharing the losses.
Yeah, but there is something about celebrating the wins in terms of. So forget everyone. In terms of you, even if you took the missus out for dinner, so it's not like you have to celebrate it as in like on social media, like
a massive thing. Oh, look at me! Look at me!
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be that, but it's you
personally
to make you feel good, to make you be like, yes, I did achieve that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you go back to being critical. That's cool. Yeah. But if you're just critical, and there's
you're
no
never gonna. Yeah, I get that. That could be quite damaging. I think
exactly in the long run. Yeah.
I think it's understanding it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Striking, like you say, balance.
Balance. That's what my company is called, Statera. It means balance.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's what Statera means.
Oh, I like that. So, if there's... this could be quite an interesting question for you, Ibrahim. So, is there a quality about yourself, like, or a personality trait that you don't like about yourself, that you would change or work on if you could?
Yeah, 100%. I'm working on it, and it's.
What is it?
This is gonna sound so strange to people on the outside. My missus will say, "Fucking hell, yes." It's temper.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It will sound so strange to people, but like,
in what way? How does that express itself in your home life? I mean, I don't expect you to start telling me that you beat your wife.
that's outside of the mic.
I'm gonna send your wife a DM with Samaritan's helpline on there. If anyone affected by a domestic abuse,
like a short fuse, like you could just go.
Yeah. I think it's.
I resonate with you on that as well.
I'm the same. Yeah, mate. Fuck me. Yeah, fuck.
It's one of those things where it's just like you. And I've been working on it for over. So, for example, I used to smoke weed.
Heavily?
Mate, heavily. I'm talking, I put it this way, there got to a point when I wasn't buying eighths, I was buying half ounces. For personal use, it's like, I'm picking up a half ounce.
And that had last you how long? A week?
I can't quite remember. But yeah, when you think about a half ounce, it's not that much. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mate, I know, to smoke that in a week, that's a heavy smoker. Right?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. But I'm waking up and I'm smoking a spliff.
Yeah.
And depending what time I'm going into the office,
you're smoking another one.
I'm smoking another one. Do you know what I'm saying? On the way to the. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was a smoker, and if I can get a sneaky one in at lunch, I was. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, you were a proper smoker.
I was a smoker. So there's that, and then obviously, I met my missus, and there's this commitment to, because she was just such a pure spirit, like just like, mate, look at your temper, like when you're not smoking, you're just losing your shit with her. I'm just like, she doesn't deserve this shit. Like, what's wrong with you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of decided to quit smoking, and just imagine what it would have been like for her as a smoker, a heavy smoker, quitting smoking. like my temper at that period was even terrible. But obviously it was a process to try and make it better. So it's much better now. But there's still those things where it's normally work related.
Yeah, stress and
I'm
pressure.
working, I'm focused, I'm trying to do something, and you're coming and you're trying to say this, and I'm like, can't you see what I'm doing?
So I used to work before I got the office a couple of years ago. I used to work in my kitchen. And like my little girl was 18 months, so she was just born in, and I'll be trying to work, and the same thing. Like she'll be trying to talk to my missus, and I'm like, can't you see?
Yeah, Ali does it to me. She's like, and I'll register that she's just said something, and then I'll go, what'd you just say?
Yeah.
And then she'll go, you weren't even fucking listening to me. I'm like, I'm fucking working here. I'm literally trying to type an email, and you're giving me fucking, 10 commandments in my ear. How can you compute both things at once?
100%.
But I think that goes back to like balance. So even if I've tried and work in an evening, she's trying to talk to me. That's when I shouldn't be working. I should be being present with her. Do you know what I mean?
And you hit the nail on the head. They're kind of going back to the questions that what do you think you need to work on, is because, like, even though we've all got the same experience, and to us it's rational. It's like, bro, why are you talking to me when I'm trying to? But at the same time, I'm like, where is it coming from her? She just wants to spend time with me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Be present.
Do you know what I mean?
You can be in the room and be on the laptop, but that's not spending time with each other, is it?
No.
You're not even in the room.
But also, if I gave her enough time, then she probably wouldn't come.
Or
you hardly see me.
Or would she want more time? See, that's the other thing. If you gave her enough time, would she sit there and go, "Oh, I like this"? But it's balance again. It comes back to balance.
You know what? I think you're right, because that's something else that's pissed me off. Because I'm like, okay, cool. And then when you consciously make time,
Ibrahim's getting divorced after this.
His temper's going up suddenly. I feel a bit uncomfortable being next to him.
You probably understand what I'm saying. Like when you've consciously made time, and then you still get the same shit for when you hadn't made time.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did I bother?
Yeah. Yeah. Or you do like a couple of nice things consecutively, like 2 weekends in a row or something. And they're like, oh, what are we doing next weekend? You're like, whoa.
Yeah,
Don't get used
I'm
to it.
fucking busy next weekend. Right? And the weekend after, I'm not seeing you again for 6 months. But no, there is that, isn't there? It's so hard to strike an even balance. And I think that comes back to the way we live, society, and all those stuff.
But also our ambition. I always say to my missus,
it's like you can't have the best of both all the time.
When you met me, and what I love about my missus is like we are so in line in terms of, we've been together for 10 years.
Yeah, same. Similar to me. Yeah.
So she knows, like, I always say, people talk about like prenups and all that stuff. I always say, like, bro, I could never chat shit to my missus. Like, when she met me, I was nobody.
Yeah, same.
I'm like, I could never chat shit to you about, this money. And like, no, bro, it's our money. It's just like, that doesn't even come into it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you've always known, even when I was that guy, my ambitions were like hair.
Yeah.
I never thought to myself, I'm a deadbeat, I'm never gonna.
You always knew you were going to achieve.
I always knew I was going to achieve, right? And you've always known that. I would have said to her, babe, this is where we're going. This is where we're going. So it's like, we're on that journey now. Like, you already knew who you're getting married to,
my missus is already talking about stopping working this year. I went, not yet.
Come on, love.
We'll get there. Don't put too much pressure on me yet, babe.
Oh, mate.
We'll get there.
I get that, though. I get that.
Yeah.
I just before we wrap it up, I want to get onto a few other things and get your opinion on a couple of other things, because I know people that are going to listen to this are in the property training space.
Yep.
I've experienced a fair level of training and different entities that provide training in the UK. I've got my opinions.
I'm leaving.
No, I just want to know, obviously I met you when you were working for, I won't say their name because I don't, you were working for a specific company, and I met you at one of their events, and you were hosting, and I really liked you as a person. You're the way you've done your business. You're really infectious. Your personality. Hence why we're sitting here now and having this conversation. Do you think the system, as in the property training system industry, is broken, and does it need fixing?
Okay, I'll give the answer at the end, but I'm gonna say this: like any education that you're trying to get involved in, there's a juxtaposition. Paying a coach or a mentor is not a guarantee of results.
No.
So that's the first thing, right? But there is a position of the way sometimes it is sold.
Yes.
It's like, mate,
how it's dressed up.
You just give me this money and your life is...
It's changed.
You want passive income.
done.
Mate.
Yeah.
Sorted.
Yeah.
You pay me this money. I've done this. I've made millions. It's like, mate, and let's just demystify this myth of passive income.
Yeah, do.
Because it pisses me off.
Yeah, do it, mate.
And I've done some content around it. So people talk about passive income. So, and generally when you're speaking to people about passive income, you're speaking to people who are currently in employment.
Who are hating it.
And they now want to be in a position where they don't want to be working in that job anymore. They want to work for themselves. They want that big old 2 words, financial freedom. Right?
Which is bounded about a lot.
Now you're speaking to that person and you're saying, do you want to make passive income? Okay, yeah, cool. Come and do this service accommodation strategy. Come and do this dual packaging strategy. It's going to give you passive income. But hang on, you ain't got a fucking clue about property.
Yeah.
You've never done property before.
Yes.
So,
no, but you can end up being the job anyway. So you've gone from a job to doing another job because
for someone who don't know what they're doing, it becomes a job.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've got to learn it, and they're working in it. They ain't building a business.
So you've got this geezer that's made a couple million, that's now got all these systems in place that perhaps is making passive income.
Now.
And it's telling you that's got to leave your job, that's got to do fucking 10 viewings a week, that's got to try and go to all these networking events, that's got to try and find investors.
And live a life.
Why you still got your job? And they're telling you that you're going to get passive income tomorrow. It's like, bro, that is active as fuck.
That's bullshit.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's nonsense. That's not passive. You want to pray that you're going to eventually get to a position where you've grafted your fucking
After all
off,
that legwork,
that you can assist them as and get to. I genuinely feel like, because for me, I've just launched a coaching program and I tell people this stuff. Like, it's important to know. And what I do also like is where the market's going, I think people have actually had enough. I think people have been through
people are wising up to it big time.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, look, do you want to do this? What do you want to achieve? This is what it is. Okay, cool. Well, look, this is what I do every week. And service accommodation, I was saying to my mentee the other day, we had our first mentoring call yesterday, actually, and I was saying to him, my skill set doesn't actually lean towards service accommodation. Right? I come from a background where, I was an estate agent, I was working with investors, I used to work for a property investment firm in the city. My skill set is really finding deals, finding people with the money, bringing them together. But while I was packaging and doing these deals, so I'm like a middleman. That's why my personality, I'm just like,
you're a people person.
I'm a people person, right? This is it. That's what my skill is towards.
Play the field.
But there you go. Don't tell my missus that. But when I was working with this organization and I'm seeing the volume of people coming through and people just not getting results, people who I'm like,
the aftercare.
Forget the aftercare to start with.
Is that something to do with them not being action takers, maybe, as well? So you got to look at it on the other way.
This is what I was going to say. But hold on. I agree with you on that one. But also, I'm looking at people going, you should not be fucking anywhere near development.
You shouldn't be here.
You shouldn't be. Why are you looking at developments?
Yeah.
You don't even know what buy-to-let is. Why are you doing development? So just because I'm telling you can make 250 large from one property deal
doesn't mean you should be doing it.
Just what I'm saying. You're like, it's mental. So you're saying this person isn't taking action. They're fucking overwhelmed. And then it comes to the aftercare. The aftercare isn't even sufficient.
So it ain't even a thing.
To give them the support.
So they should be learning it while they're on there doing their thing.
They basically
get better at it.
Yeah, but they basically get kicked out the back door afterwards.
And then do it on the side hustle. You've
got to go through the process.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like anything else, you've got to go through the process. Like you guys, you coming straight into development makes sense. You got construction from.
Yeah, but mate, we still. I will be the first. With Dina, agree. We've made mistakes and bad decisions in the. Do you know what I mean? In the early days that we're still probably paying for now. But we're coming out the back end of it, and that's with experience.
And that's with experience.
Yeah, but I feel that's a big lesson we can teach people. To go, look, this is what we did. Listen to us. You'll learn a hell of a lot, 100%. And not go for that mistake with us.
Yeah, but with the support.
With our support.
Yeah, with the support. But what I'm saying is the thing that fucks me off is, like you just said, the amount of legwork and the shit that takes to get to that level of success in that arena is fucking hard. Yeah, and what I don't like is that people, trainers, educators, whoever they are, I'm not going to name names because I'm not like that, but there's a fucking few that spring to mind really fast, right? Is the bollocks that they tell, and they do not tell people about the failures. They'll tell people about how they started, giving it the woe story.
I know a lot of failures, mate. Trust me.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, they're just so backwards.
But surely people want to hear the
hardship
I do. You went through to learn from it, so they don't make that mistake.
I do.
Honestly, it's that. This is what I'm saying. The reason, just going back to the story I was telling, right? the reason why I chose service accommodation is because I said to myself, like, bro, what can you actually do to help these people? Because, you know, me coming, being homeless, my credit's shot, all of this kind of stuff, I'm saying, okay, cool. How can I help that geezer? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I went on the service accommodation. I've done this purely with the end goal of helping people achieve something through property. And then they can decide to, you know, branch out to other strategies. And that's why I'm doing service accommodation. So I said, okay, I can go and teach this stuff now. Because I've been mentoring people in this capacity for the last, 12, 18 months anyway. I can just go and teach them, but you know what? Screw that. Let me set up a company. Let me go and do it. So I can just show them through the journey of exactly what I'm talking about. All the goods, all the bads. Show them the process. Tell them, this is what I'm doing every day. So if you want to get this result, this is what you got to do. Listen, if you're out there, you're not doing this. You're competing with me. There's people like me out there. So if you think I'm good, but yet you're not willing to put in the work that I'm putting in, how do you ever think you're even going to succeed in this? It's not going to happen, right? And this is literally the information I'm giving people. But when you tell people that, look, all you just got to do is give me, whether it's 5 grand, 10 grand, 2 grand, whatever it is, 30 grand.
And that is the key to success.
That is the key to success.
That's a lie.
All you need is a mentor, mate. You just need a mentor.
Accountability.
But this is it. But the reality is, yes, I believe in mentorship. I still invest in mentorship till today. But what is the level of mentorship actually going on? And that's where I think me and Robbie agree that there is...
the value you're getting out of that mentorship.
There's a deficit in the amount of value that's been given in this space today.
Because they don't care. But that's what I'm going to say. It leads me on to a bit of my next question, really, is do you think that in your experience, I'm asking, so what you've personally seen and experienced, do you feel like there is a lack of aftercare for a start is evident, but do you think that they just don't give a shit about the people that are coming through the doors?
It's interesting because where I was, so once I'm talking about my personal experience, because where I was, it would be wrong to ban everyone into the same, because I have actually worked with some really good trainers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say names because once you say a couple names and people who know where I've been, they'll start
putting two together. I'm not asking you this to create a difficult situation.
No.
I just want your opinion.
But that's what I'm saying, because look, Robbie, you can go into training now, which I think you will be a phenomenal trainer. When I had my podcast, honestly, I was so blown away when I was like, remember I was saying to everyone on my social, like, the game is changed.
Yeah.
Like, once Robbie comes into the game is changed, and I truly believe that, right? So if someone asks me about trainers and I go, yeah, they're all crap, you're in that mix.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, it wouldn't be right. I'm going to be in that mix now as well.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be right to say that because there are some good ones. And that's what makes it really difficult, because there's also ones that can talk.
Yeah.
So you can be good, but you can't talk as well as the guy that's not so good.
That's the problem, isn't it? and those people who are, more than just being, or less than being educators and what they're parading as being, I think they're just glorified salesmen.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%. And it's a skill set you have to have.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's, I'm not hating on that, because an element of mentoring, coaching, and is sales, because you're
100%.
selling a coaching program to someone.
Yes.
You're selling a vision to someone.
Yes.
I don't want to say selling a dream, but some people...
you're selling something, so some people got to buy into you.
Yeah.
So if you could be the bollocks of a mentor trainer, or whatever trainer, but if you're shit at selling yourself,
and
you're
shit
never
at
going to
talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hence one of the things I'm trying to work on, because
talking.
In my problem that holds me back is public speaking and things. I'm shit myself, mate, when it comes to it. So I'm actually getting a public speaker. I'm getting that.
This is why I'm dragging him to do things like this.
Yeah, he's getting me out of my comfort zone. So it's quite nice. You know what I mean?
Also, I'll give you. I don't know who you're going to, but I can tell you someone who, because I know a lot of these guys. I can tell you someone else. You know what? Go with this person. They're trustworthy. They're good. Yeah. So I'll give you.
Okay, give me. Yeah, I'm near enough.
Oh, you got someone.
I'm near enough signing to
signed?
get started. So I think I'm just gonna.
No harm in talking about it, though, is there?
Yeah, no.
But if you've got someone that you trust already, you're confident in, then 100% crack on, mate. Yeah. You said it's she.
She.
So that's good, because any of the other he's, then I'll probably say speak to me first before you sign.
She's a she. She's come from my business coach anyway.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's good.
But yeah.
No, that's great. I wanted to get both your opinions on that, because obviously we met in that arena, so I kind of wanted to see how you felt about your experiences and what you've seen.
It's a dirty world, I'll be honest.
It is, isn't it?
It is a dirty world, and it is distressing, because we were speaking off air about this, and I said this is one of the reasons why I've decided to kind of go out and do my own thing, because I see a lot of people. In my experience, a good 80, 85, 90% of those people that come for this training look like me.
Yeah.
And
Dan, when you say that, do you mean black?
Yes.
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 Just to clarify.
Yeah, just to clarify. Yeah. Like they're black people. So for me, there's this like connection. That
Can I just ask you another awkward question on that?
Yeah, go on.
Like, do you feel that demographic is targeted?
I do. I'll be honest.
No, because I see it with my own fucking eyes.
Yeah.
When I go to these events in London and other places, and the demographic of the people that are in the room are black, African.
I think it's very because we're very religious, so there's certain language patterns that are being used to tap.
It's almost gospel, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it the algorithms that they put on the Facebook?
No, I've not. Yeah, you can target. Yeah, you can target certain demographics.
Yeah, you can target. You can target people. Like obviously we with Facebook ads and all this sort of thing, but also the language that you're using that is going to be triggering. For certain demographics, that's just how it is, isn't it? But I see that. I see that, and I also see that with the attitudes in the rooms. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I'm saying attitude, I'm talking about lack of empathy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a dirty world. It's a dirty world. It's a dirty game.
It is.
Yeah.
And I've seen it, and I'm really glad I've got your input on it actually, because you've pretty much confirmed what I thought anyway.
It is, mate. Mate, just come in, because on the other side there is now a few people that I'm starting to see. Well, I don't know them personally. I know a couple personally who are different, who are like me and you. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I can just tell that you are so like value driven. I just know you, bro. I just know it.
Yeah, I am.
And it's so important that you do come into this space and you start to create this change, because you told me about some of the things that you were looking to do when you was in my podcast. So I was just like, no one's fucking doing that, mate. Yeah. That is mental. Remember, we're talking about those letters and stuff like that. I was like, mate, what? Yeah. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And all of these things is because if you do that, the likelihood of
giving value to people more than someone else's.
The likelihood of them getting results is like fucking 10x. And ultimately, it's like, why would you not? For me, it's like, okay, cool. I can use my ability. Like, I can talk. Yeah. I've always gone from, I can sell. Yeah. I can use my ability to just take money off people, or I can use my ability and knowledge to educate people, give them all of the resources they need to actually get results, and then they
get
become
recurring income.
They become my mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll just spiral.
And it's fulfillment there as well, isn't it?
It's fulfillment as well. Can you imagine in a year's time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, you got all these people, mate. Fucking hell.
That becomes your marketing. It's just because of how much value they're getting from you.
But how incredible it would be. Can you imagine just like... I was a part of that person's journey. Now look at what they've been able to create for their families and all this sort of stuff. That would feel incredible.
Nice.
I just don't... honestly,
yeah, man, no, I respect that. I think we all kind of, that's the sort of thing, we've all got them sort of values. Me, I want to help people, mate. I want to help the people that are close to me as well. One of the things I want to do is get like,
and the people that look up to you.
But my friends, get them, like their families on the health benefits so they can go and have private health care, like, so they haven't got to worry about things like that. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just not at that stage at the moment, but I will.
You will be.
Yeah,
that's a great show.
Do you know what I mean? Things like that, so they're looked after. Because it doesn't have to be about money, it just be like, look, you can go get the best healthcare when you're in struggling and things like that, you know? So, one thing I'm looking at.
Love that.
My last question to wrap this up, so it sort of leads off nicely from what we just spoke about. Can money buy you happiness?
I mean, directly.
I mean, happiness isn't a product that you can go and buy.
No.
Unless you know a bloke.
But I mean, I do. It depends what sort of happiness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'd say you can and it can't. It depends how you use it and what you do with it.
It's the tool again.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a tool. So it can and it can't.
Like you say, it buys you time.
This is what I'm going to say.
Freedom.
People.
Help.
Do you know what? Me, once again, me and my friend were talking about this yesterday. There's buzzwords that people use that just sounds good, right? Yeah. But the reality is like, bro, I've been poor, innit?
Yeah.
Like, I've been poor.
And nothing.
Nothing. You ain't got choices. Like, don't get me wrong, when I was in Nigeria, it's not like I didn't have a happy childhood. Yeah. But all of that's so good when you're a child, bro. But when you're getting older and you've got responsibilities, you can't be poor and be happy.
Yeah.
Because you're
constantly thinking about how to get money and how to survive, aren't you?
Yeah. So it's like, can money buy you happiness?
I suppose it's where you are as well, geographically, isn't it? Because you could be like living in a beautiful part where you don't need a lot. You just got like sunshine,
nice countryside,
or just sunshine by a beach,
nice environment.
Not worrying about it.
Yeah, but
where we live now.
But how do you get there though?
Yeah,
if that's where you're born,
you're either born into it or you're not.
Exactly that. If you're not, for me, I just think so. For example, what's the biggest source of argument in my household? Probably cleaning.
Yeah.
I don't like doing it. My missus doesn't like doing it.
Yeah.
So who's gonna do it?
Yeah.
No one ever wants to do it. So we're gonna argue about it. Do you know what I'm saying? But let's just get a cleaner in.
Yeah. Fuck it.
That comes with money.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's
But
like
that
all
make you
these
happy,
little
wouldn't
things.
it?
Yeah, bro.
I just wanted to add back what I was saying then. So, because I went to Hawaii a few years back with my partner, we went on holiday there, and it had quite a high homeless thing. But they was living on the beach in a
In a fucking hammock.
Yeah, mate, but that's what I'm saying. There's being poor there, then homeless or whatever you use there.
Yeah, different
and
economy.
being in a
innit?
different place like in England and London under a bridge.
Yeah, that's different.
And that's how I was just kind of looking at it.
Yeah.
Again, they might think, well, okay, it could be worse.
That's
You know what I mean?
circumstantial,
There could be
isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
It's context, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
context.
to it.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? That was, how we wrapped it up. Really
Ooh.
nice.
I've enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Same
that's
here,
been a
same
fucking
here.
brilliant session, and I will say I want to do it again sometime soon. So we're
Just
gonna
take the missus out for a meal, innit?
yeah,
And the girls.
right. No, I've really enjoyed it. I just want to say thank you, Ibrahim, for coming all the way down here. You've had a couple of hour drive here to get here today. Dean, thanks for coming, and I hope that people who have listened to this can take something away from it.
Man, thank you for having me, man. I genuinely really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah,
so I didn't know what to
sweet.
expect. Yeah, it
Good.
was so much
It's
fun,
the
man.
first time I've met you, so I've really enjoyed meeting you, mate. You're
Yeah,
a
you
bit
too,
of me,
man.
mate. You're
See,
a bit
this
of
is,
me.
this is what it's all
Likewise.
about. This is what the Tea Hut's all about. Breaking down them barriers, meeting new people, getting out your comfort zone, and just going against the grain. So again, thank you both of you for sitting down and talking with me today, and I hope everyone out there has enjoyed it. So thanks again, guys.
The Tea Hut, proudly brought to you by eGrowth Media.